Have you ever wondered why some people succeed while others who may be more talented don't succeed? The answer is in this book. This is my book for the week, and the title of the book is Grit, written by Duckworth. In this book, the secret of success is not IQ, is not talent, is not social intelligence, but based on her research, the strong predictor of success is grit, passion, perseverance, and resilience. You see, she was able to study students, athletes, military cadets, and business leaders, and discovered something remarkable, that the most successful people weren't the smartest, they were ones who refused to quit. Reading this book reminded me of something that I often tell my clients. Consistency beats intensity. Your success is not defined by how fast you start, but by how long you endure. This is a very great read, and I think that when you read this book, you realize that it is not talent or innate ability or divine abilities that makes you successful. Most times, according to our research, many people prefer to categorize successful people as talented, genius, having some divine ability that others do not have. Because when you categorize successful people in that manner, it lets you off the hook. There's no need to compete. This person has supernatural gifting. That is why I cannot be that successful. But you see, when you read this book, you can no longer go that route, because with effort, with determination, with perseverance and resilience, which is called grit, you can achieve anything. And I think this is a very great book that all of us should read. You know, in this book, she was able to give us the 4 psychological assets of grit. Number 1 is interest. You cannot persevere in anything that you don't have interest in. Number 2 is that deliberate practice. You know, when you have interest and you enjoy something, like I enjoy teaching, and because of that, I can spend hours reading and researching because I have interest in teaching. And the next asset is purpose. Purpose. Now, purpose is when it's no longer about your selfish interest, but you have an interest that is also benefiting other people. That's the third asset. Then the fourth asset is hope. The only reason why you can endure and persevere is because there is hope that your effort will pay off at the end. I think that this book will help us to realize that anybody can be successful. You know, I'm also reminded in this book about the parable of the bricklayer. There's a parable of the bricklayer in this book where a question was asked to 3 bricklayers. And this was the question: what are you doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? That was the question that I asked the bricklayer. And the first person said, I am laying bricks. That's what I'm doing. The second bricklayer says, I am building a church. And the third bricklayer says, I am building the house of God. Now, this is how it was categorized. And this is why you see you have people who are frustrated in their jobs. Because the first person who says, I am laying bricks, that person has a job. The second person who says, I am building a church, that person has a career. And the third person who says, I am building the house of God, that person believes that his or her job is a calling. And you see, everybody who is working today, there is a way you look at your job. You can either look at your job as a job, or you can look at your job as a career, and you can look at your job as a calling. But how you engage in that job is the interpretation you give to that job. Somebody who looks at his job just like a job will not give their best, and they will easily give up. Somebody who looks at his or her job as a career, yeah, they can endure to an extent. But you see, somebody who looks at his or her job as a calling, those are the categories of workers who give their best to their work. You know, so this book just helps to let us off the hook that the 1% and the successful people are people who had divine abilities. This book has revealed that there are many people who are not that talented, and it also reveals that talent is not enough. But if you have passion and resilience, you can actually achieve anything that you put your mind to achieve. And the book also went further to research, how do you train your child to have grit? How do you bring up your child to have passion and to have perseverance? And through the research, they have what's called the quadrant of parenting, but there's no time. I won't have to go there. You have to get the book to get the details. But the best quadrant is the quadrant of supportive and demanding. They call it the wise parenting. You see, as a parent, when you are supporting and loving your child, but also demanding and have high standard for your children, those are the kind of children who end up being very successful, who will not give up until they succeed. And I think all of us should try and get this book and read this book. It will help you to not give up. It will help you to be determined and to be resilient, because through this book you will come to realize that you can actually be successful as long as you refuse to give up. As long as you refuse to give up. So if you are building a business, if you are pursuing healing, and if you are fighting to reinvent your life, I have one message for you. Don't give up too soon. Persevere, and you will succeed at the end. If you like what I've just said, please follow, share, so that you can get more content like this.